Hey everyone, you can call me Infinity, and today I am starting my YouTube channel just to teach you guys my views on law of assumption, reality shifting, the law of consciousness, and the likes of Neville Goddard. So, before I begin, I will just give you a little bit of my background, and hopefully, the information that I've provided you would help you miraculously, magically transform your lives and be the best versions of yourself effortlessly and easily. So, I came into contact with Neville Goddard's books, The Law of Assumption and the likes, 6 years ago. I was still in school then, and I was going through a hard time, and all the doors seemed shut. So I was fortunate enough to find these resources. I went through them and started implementing the concepts. My life changed in the snap of a finger. And today I am at a place where I am using and consciously using, I would say, the law of assumption every day, every minute, every moment of my life. And I think I'm in a good position to help those who still want to become the best version of themselves and feel that, something is lacking from their life in some shape or form and are lost. So, just to kickstart for my today's subject, the law of assumption. What does the law of assumption tell you? The law of assumption tells you that whatever you assume to be true is true. Be it anything. Focus on anything. I just want you to realize that there is no assumption that is big or small. There is no assumption that is fat or thin. There is no assumption that is even good or bad. These are all flavors and themes given by society to categorize different feelings into different buckets. And honestly, we all have just been accepting the social constructs, the societal norms as a way of living, and kind of limiting ourselves from becoming the best versions of ourselves, the free versions of ourselves with the ultimate freedom. And this video is about unleashing yourself and indeed becoming the best version. So, coming back to the law of assumption, everything is an assumption. And today, you believing or not believing that the law of assumption is true is also an assumption. So you see how derivative it is? Whatever you assume to be true is true. Whether you assume to be true is true is true. So without confusing anyone and talking in the simplest terms, if you assume that you becoming successful is hard, it's achievable, but it's hard, which was my assumption back in school when I was having all of these exams. And I knew that I would be successful because I was very hardworking and I was grinding myself all the time, studying 13 hours a day, not talking to anyone, just because I wanted to make a career out of myself. I started believing that success is achievable, but it requires shit tons of hard work. And that reflected my reality for the next 6 years up until, when I changed my assumptions that success is easy, success is effortless. There are people for whom success would be hard, but not for me. Because my assumptions have changed and my reality reflects all of my assumptions. So if I change my assumption about success and hard work being linked together and success is and easiness being linked together, then my reality changed. And past few months have been the most effortless, flowy and easy months of my life, where I am thriving at work, everyone is praising me, and I am really not putting in that much effort anymore. And whatever I do, whatever action I take is just out of pure grace, comes from a very inner beautiful place and does not feel like hard work. So where I am trying to get with is that why not you guys as well start believing in the easy assumptions instead of the hard one. There is not that, one assumption is less likely than the other. That is not true. Our consciousness is a blank void state. It is so huge, it is so infinite, and there is no maths involved, there is no logic involved there. So these are just human concepts. Let's keep them aside and really try to understand that it's not like scenario A is more likely than scenario B, which means it's not like hard work and success are more linked than easiness and success. No, they're both equal probability events then that are conditional really upon your ability to believe which one is true for you. And that's it. That is really what it is conditional upon. There is no other condition attached. There is no condition about hard work. There is no condition about network. There is no condition about all the Tom, Dick and Harry concepts that people use for themselves that might work for them because that is their assumption. But what should work for you is your assumption. It's your reality and no one has control over your reality. Please try to ingrain that in your mind. The earlier you do it, the easier it would be. There is no concept of deadline, there is no concept of rush because you already have it. Start assuming that whatever your desire is, and I am talking about the wildest desires here. I'm not just talking about what people categorize as the boring desires, like earning 100k extra or their SP texting them. I'm not even talking about those desires. I'm talking about your wildest desires, just to tell you how unlimited we are and how easy it is to get everything we want just by assuming that we already have it, just by living in the state of wish fulfilled. And that's it. That is all that is required from you. There is nothing else. You don't have to lift 100 bricks to be what you want. You can just sit on your bed, listen to your music, and assume that you are what you already desired, what you previously desired, and you have it now. Just crowd out all the other assumptions that are hard in nature, because it's at the end, it's your call which assumptions you want and which assumptions you don't want. Sometimes we end up believing in assumptions that are very societally driven, and I don't want you guys to do that. I want you guys to build from the ground up your assumptions. Today, if you assume you're a magician and that you have the ability to move things with the help of your eyes or your ears or your breath, that is true. And I'm really not trying to tell you about something that's not possible. That's equally possible. That's as much possible as you pooping the next minute. So honestly, start equalizing everything. Don't keep things on a pedestal, because it's your reality and people are only as real as you make them to be, as you assume them to be. Tomorrow, if you assume that people are not real and everyone abides by your desires and everyone is working to make all of your desires come true, then that is true. If you do not want to get involved in all of these processes, if you just assume that things manifest out of thin air for you, then that is true. It will happen. It is happening. it is your call, right? It is your call how you want to manifest everything you desire. Personally, I forego the process part altogether. I have started to understand that there is no logic, there is no linearity. You don't have to go through B, C, D, E, F just to reach from point A to point X. No, you don't. If you want to reach from point A to point X, you do that without going through all of these hoops that otherwise people think that you have to jump. No, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is come into the state of pure godhood. You know today that you have the ultimate power of over your reality, and this is not something that should come from a control standpoint. It should come from a very free standpoint, that today what you desire has already come true. You have it right now. It's sitting with you right now. It's your call whether you want to manifest it out of thin air, or you want to have fun with the process. I am no one to judge, but just know that you have your desires, and that is the ultimate reality. There is no one taking away your desires from you. You can even change the past. You can do whatever you want. Honestly, you can change time. The most concrete things that people imagine that cannot be changed can be changed by you. You can revise and change the past next second. The other day I just assumed that this embarrassing thing, that supposedly embarrassing thing, right, that happened to me at work the other day, no one remembers that. It's just pushed under the rug, and no one really remembers anything about that. No one really witnessed that. And the next day, just out of fun, I started talking to my colleague about that embarrassing thing that happened to me, and she said, "Wow, what are you talking about? I don't know about anything like that." So yeah, and I wasn't even surprised, because I knew that I knew that it was revised that very second. Time is just an illusion. If you think it'll take 1 month to get your desire, it will take 1 month to get your desire. If you think that you can only achieve your desire by the time you turn XYZ age, then that is true. If you think that you can achieve your desire right now, then that is true. So I just want to make you guys understand that everything, even assumptions about your desires, are just subcategories of assumptions, right? Even assumption about how you will be getting your desire is up to you. Some people say you should not define the path, but I say, why not? I don't want to go through the process. I don't want to wait for my desires. So yes, goddesses don't wait for their desires. You have it right now. And I literally have things appearing out of thin air, guys. Thin air. Nothing involved, no one involved, no energy involved. Just things appearing out of thin air to suit my needs. From the biggest, quote unquote, to the smallest stuff. Because I just don't give in to this concept of big versus small, unlikely versus likely. For me, whatever I want is 100% likely. And I don't even use the word likely, because it's my ultimate reality. Step into your godhood now, guys, and become the best versions of yourself without any pressure. By the way, there is no pressure of becoming the best versions yourself, because you already are it. Just start embodying that concept now, right now. You can make the tables turn. You can make the mountains move. You can make the past change. You can have magical powers. You can time travel. You can teleport. You can, change the color of your outfits. Just like that. Because things happen just like that. You don't need to lift your finger. And the only reason that you even need to lift your finger is because you think that you have to lift a finger. So I hope this helps everyone, and let me know if anyone has any questions. Please feel to drop a comment, because it's my inner wish that everyone becomes the best versions of themselves by assuming that they are it effortlessly, easily. And honestly, whatever you want is true. So go for the wildest stuff. Wildest, because even that is an assumption. It's up to you. It's only up to you. Only. Okay, guys. Thank you. Bye bye. Love, infinity.